Okay, I'm here with Mum and Dad. We're just trying to get a quick interview in before the sun sets. And we're going to start off by talking about their childhood, what they remember growing up, especially what they remember outdoors. So, I don't know, who wants to kick off?
I'll kick off if you like.
Yeah. Just speak a bit loudly, about the volume.
Yeah. My earliest memories, really, of going onto a disused sewage farm, which our house was backed onto, and the weeds were 6 foot high.
Yeah.
So we made wonderful camps in them as kids and had wonderful time. The only problem there was that there was a caretaker who used to chase us off. And we.
So where was this? You lived in the.
I lived in London.
Yeah.
Northwest London, Harrow, Kenton. Yeah.
Which is pretty urban.
Very urban.
Yeah.
And as a boy, we were evacuated, my brother and I, to Hertfordshire, which was rather like going from black and white to colour, because it was countryside. Yeah. Wonderful. And we stayed with a woman who was very relaxed, let's say. She didn't care.
I've got the dog here. Hang on, I'm just going to throw the dog her ball because she's going to keep barking.
She actually allowed us to run off school. We didn't, and when we did go to school, a lot of the lessons were outdoors under a tree or something like that. Wonderful. So it was a very happy time for me. I enjoyed that part of it.
How long were you at her house?
Not long, about 6 months. Once the bombing eased up, we came home. My father came home.
And where you were evacuated as well?
I was evacuated to Cornwall, to Port Scatho, a little tiny village about 15 miles from Truro. And there I joined the village children. The village children did not wear shoes all day, so I chucked mine off. And your feet toughened up very quickly because you went everywhere on these pebble, no tarmacadam on the roads. It was all pebbly. And
how old were you?
I was had my 5th birthday there.
And were adults around much?
I had an aunt and an uncle, but we were expected to turn up for just meals. Yeah. And we'd be off either on our own, my cousin and I, or with my elder sister Pat, who was there. And how old was
she then?
She was 2 years older, so she was 6, 7. And we would go off and we taught ourselves to swim in the sea there, in the harbour, and it was awful because the water was thick with wonderful seaweed. Yeah. And it was, as a child, it was quite off-putting. You felt you were in the water with all sorts of...
But your aunt...
Nobody worried about us at all. And we taught ourselves to swim in the sea. And we spent our day along the rocky foreshore with a jam jar, which of course my cousin broke and cut himself. And so that was a drama when we got back, because he got a cut hand from carrying it. But nobody worried about us at all. It was
Tell them about the time you turned up at school at 3.
That
went to school. Yeah, but that doesn't matter. You can talk
when
about
I was 3, we lived in High Wycombe.
Yeah. Because don't worry about it, Dad. It's just modern technology breaking into our thing here.
Look at that sun.
Yeah, the sun is going. When you were 3?
Yeah, when I was 3, we lived in High Wycombe for 2 years because it was thought that the war would be bombing straight away. And in fact, we hired a house, the family, and my sister, who was 5, went to school. And every day she would go off on the bus, which stopped outside our house, and I was brought back in and sent out into the garden to play. And I got fed up with this, and I saved up in a dried milk tin, which everybody had dried milk in those days, and that was my purse. And I don't know how, but I saved some pennies. And one day, I didn't tell anybody, I just went out and got on a bus. And I got off the bus at the right stop and crossed the road and went into this vast school doors, and then I was so frightened what I'd done. There I was in the middle of nowhere, and a very bossy lady swept me up and said, "Who are you?" And they took me into each classroom and said to all the children, "This little girl's turned up, who does she belong to?" And obviously at one of the classes, Pat put her hand up and said,
"My
me."
sister."
So then she took me back home, and
nobody had missed you.
Nobody had missed me.
No.
Oh no, nobody missed me. But I remember being so ticked off when I got back for being naughty.
I mean, I was talking to Dad about this earlier. He says his mother did worry. It just was different. You know, it wasn't that she didn't worry or care. It was just that's what you did.
Oh yeah.
Your mother didn't worry.
Nobody
My mother
worried.
did.
Nobody worried where the
again.
children were or what the children were doing. Nobody worried at all.
I mean, we used to go off for hours, all day long, just turn up for a meal in the evening.
Yeah. Well, I did it to a certain extent.
Did you?
You see, because I had my pony, and
Yes.
you let me go off.
That's right.
And then I have tried to do that with Connie.
Yes.
But it's frowned a lot more
Yes.
because it's not done. You know, you don't
No.
let your children,
Children
especially
out.
without a mobile phone on an animal on the roads.
That's right.
And but I did let her do it because you'd let me do it. So I
Yes.
think, and Connie had some near misses, and I had some near misses.
Yes.
My horse was
Yes.
hit by a car. So, but I think the perspective is changing.
But
isn't
I
it?
think when we were young, everybody relied on everybody else to help you out if there was a problem.
yeah.
Like the school helped me out that time. And when I fell off a horse and was hurt, out from the house came the people and rang for an ambulance. They looked after, everybody looked after everybody.
Yeah, and they do actually now, because somebody
but we just
rescued
don't-
Connie. But
Yes.
people just don't expect
That's
to.
right, no,
Anyway, I think
that's
that's our light is going now.
Yes.
So we'll continue and have another one tomorrow.
Were you
Yes.
on
Yeah.
camera then as well?
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my God, I was getting up and moving about.
I know.